afternoon from the National Service of the Liberia Broadcasting System. Welcome to Newsline and our presentation of the most compelling news from Liberia and the rest of the world. Today is Friday, the 6th of February, 2026. I am Bafle Kamara presenting. In the headlines, President Joseph Boakai donates cash and rice to fire victims at military barracks in Magibi County. Liberian-born American journalist Helen Cooper praises Liberia's growing democracy. Supreme Court appoints investigative panel to begin contempt charges against Justin Opayezen, commonly known as Prophet Key. And in foreign news, severe drought kills dozens of cattle in Kenya. These and many more stories, including the news in simple English, French, the weather reports, sports are coming up. First, Grace Tower and the latest from the newsroom.
President Joseph Boakai has highlighted the contributions of the armed forces of Liberia towards the country's peace and democracy. President Boakai said the army has demonstrated patriotism, integrity, and dedication to the protection of Liberia's territorial confines over the years. An executive mansion release says the Liberian leader made the statement Thursday when he identified with fire victims at the Edward Bay and Kessley military barracks in Margibi County. During the visit, President Boakai assured the victims of government's commitment to restoring dignity to their lives, highlighting their importance to Liberia's peace and stability. According to the release, the Liberian chief executive, as part of his visit, donated $5,000 and 10 bags of rice to each of the victims. The release said the gesture by President Boakai reflects government's continued commitment to the welfare of members of the AFL and to Liberians affected by unforeseen disasters. Liberian-born American journalist of New York Times, Ellen Cooper, has praised Liberia's growing democracy. Madam Cooper claimed that increased respect for dissent, especially by national leaders, started during the administration of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The award-winning journalist spoke recently on the BBC World Service program, The Conversation, to discuss the biography of Madam Sirleaf.
Liberia can say anything. They can challenge the government in a way they never could before, that they held the government of Liberia to a much higher standard than I think.
Journalist Ellen Cooper said Liberia came out of the Ebola epidemic in 2014 before Sierra Leone and Guinea because leaders listened to criticisms. Meanwhile, the Liberian-born American journalist has called for serious attention to biography writing on people who made immense contributions and impact on the world. The Supreme Court has appointed two lawyers to serve as Elbc Kura in connection to a contempt proceeding against Justin Opayezen, commonly known as Prophet Key. Elbc Kura is friends of the court who assist in legal proceedings as to the law relating to that issue. Those appointed are former Associate Justice Michael Wilkins Wright and Montserrado County Chief Prosecutor Councillor Richard Scott. The appointment of the two lawyers followed the Supreme Court's February 4th summon of Prophet Key, accusing him of bringing the High Court to public ridicule and dispute against the full bench of the Supreme Court. Legal pundits say Prophet Key risks being fined and put in prison for 30 days if found guilty for the contempt charge against the court. Recently, Prophet Key allegedly rained insults against Chief Justice Yami Kokebose and members of the bench, saying they are corrupt, and the bench believes this have exposed the court to public ridicule. 45 AFL soldiers assigned at the Sapo National Park in Sino County have been recalled following reports of alleged compromise and a shooting incident. Deputy Defense Minister for Operations Spencer Liko said investigation is ongoing and any personnel found culpable would face action under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Minister Liko disclosed that the armed forces of Liberia have successfully cleared Sapo National Park of illegal miners and occupants. He noted that illegal mining, wildlife killings, and the influx of foreigners pose serious threats to national security and biodiversity. The Deputy Defense Minister for Operations spoke Thursday at the Ministry of Information press briefing in Monrovia. Meanwhile, Deputy Minister Liko has attributed the slow pace of the 2026 AFL recruitment process to lack of funds. Minister Liko said they are experiencing delay in the release of the necessary funds by the Ministry of Finance. He assured the public that recruitment will begin once funding is available. The Deputy Defense Minister for Operations emphasized that the recruitment is free and open to Liberians aged 18 to 35. Deputy Minister Liko warned that fraudsters will not be allowed to be enlisted into the AFL. He added that recruitment will be conducted across four regions with testing centers in Monrovia, Tokmenburg, Banga, Zwedru, and Harper. The Liberia Board for Nursing and Midwifery (LB&M) has convened a day-long training to prepare assessors tasked with evaluating nursing and midwifery training institutions and their clinical practice sites. The session led by LB&M Director for Education, Testing and Evaluation Shirley Adair-Wright centered on the board's newly validated assessment tool. The workshop aims to build a uniform understanding of the tool's application, ensuring objective and consistent evaluations across all institutions. Director Wright explained that the workshop is designed to ensure the assessment team effectively apply, interpret, and implement various assessment tools. She maintained that the LB&M's goal is a fair, transparent, and objective evaluation process that upholds the national standards required to produce competent healthcare professionals. The assessor training workshop brought together health practitioners, representatives from training schools, civil society actors, members of the Liberian National Police, and the media. At the same time, the Liberia National Police has committed to working along with the Liberia Board for Nursing and Midwifery to ensure the board's mandate is achieved. Police spokesperson Cecilia Clark said the LMP stands ready to collaborate with the LB&M during and after its upcoming assessment of training institutions and clinical sites. Madam Clark spoke Friday at a day-long assessors training organized by the Liberia Board for Nursing and Midwifery in Stinker. She assured the board that the police is willing to participate in the assessment to ensure more public trust in the exercise. The Ministry of Public Works has disclosed plans to set up proper road maintenance mechanism in the country. Deputy Public Works Minister for Technical Services Prince Tamba stated that the establishment of a road maintenance program will greatly help the country road infrastructure. Minister Tamba added that though there are challenges, but the ministry is organizing plans to ensure the program is brought to reality. He spoke on the Supermorning Show Friday. Montserrat County District 1 Representative Rudy Barry has officially broken grounds for the construction of a modern motorbike terminal in Yan Todi Statutory District. When completed, motorbike terminal will enhance commuters' safety and provide a more organized hub for motorbike riders. Speaking at the ceremony on Thursday, Representative Barry said all the pending development initiatives will be unveiled during the dedication of the terminal, a new facility designed to bring order and safety to the area's bustling commercial bike transport sector will feature a designated parking and waiting areas, office space, and bathroom, among others. Meanwhile, riders and local leaders of the district have welcomed the initiative, highlighting the long-standing need for such terminal to support their trade mainly during the rainy season. The founder of Kingdom Harvest Ministries, Bishop Hilary Boto, is calling for holistic approach in the fight against corruption in Liberia. According to Bishop Boto, it is time for religious leaders to begin teaching their members the impediments of corruption. In an ELBC interview Friday in Chocolate City, Kingdom Harvest Ministries Bishop noted that cultivating such positive mindset will improve Liberia for all. The bishop's statement comes ahead of the official commencement of Kingdom Harvest Ministries' 20th convention beginning Sunday, February 8th. Meanwhile, Bishop Boto has vowed to use the convention to strategize plans that will transform Liberia, including establishment of an advanced treatment center for disadvantaged youth. Supporters of the late Professor Ahaji G.V. Kuma are expected to honor his life, leadership, and enduring national legacy. A public memorial service and legacy celebration is being planned to serve as a solemn yet celebratory occasion to reflect on Professor Kuma's decades of selfless service to Liberia. According to a release, the legacy of the late Liberian statesman spans journalism, education, public administration, diplomacy, sports development, and national leadership. The memorial service and legacy celebration is being organized with the aim of bringing together Liberians across political affiliations, ethnic backgrounds, and religious beliefs. Meanwhile, the program is due to feature interfaith prayers, tributes, and reflections on Professor Kroma's life and leadership, highlighting his enduring contributions to Liberia's democratic evolution, media development, and national identity. The Ministry of Health has validated a revised birth and death registration and certification policy following a 3-day review in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County. The policy seeks to solicit stakeholders' inputs towards finalizing the draft policy as well as improve nationwide registration and strengthen certification processes for both birth and death certificates. Assistant Minister for Preventive Services, Dr. Carlo Howard, underscored the legal and social importance of birth and death certificates, describing them as fundamental entitlements. A health release quotes Dr. Howard as urging stakeholders to actively engage in the review and take responsibility for implementing the policy once adopted. Meanwhile, Assistant Minister for Planning, Research, Monitoring and Evaluation, George Jacobs, said the policy update was driven by changes in Liberia's civil registration and vital statistics landscape. Mr. Jacobs, in the release, further stated that the previous version of the policy was developed since 2017, hence the need to update the policy to meet current national priorities and international best practices. At the same time, Assistant Minister for Vital Statistics, Dr. Anthony Fortune, alluded that the birth and death registration, particularly for adults, has remained centralized in Montserrado. Hence, the ministry intends to remedy this situation through the introduction of online registration and issuance. And Brentwood Mount County Senator Dapa Vapila has called on the Water and Sewer Director to carry out an assessment on safe drinking water in the county. This followed the completion of a new 200,000-gallon safe drinking water tower in Sinjay Town, which she believes should be tested to safeguard citizens' health. The 40,000 US dollar project was funded by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and implemented by Sustainable Urban and Rural Integrated Development Organization Suredo. It was handed over to the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation and locals of the town for management. The CEO of Suredo, Paul Bala, said the project is a 150-drilled borehole initiative. Meanwhile, the county representative of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Make Jabla, said the church has invested in this project and it should be managed by the community, providing an opportunity for more.
Great style there with the news bulletin. You're listening to Newsline on ELBC Radio. One of the big stories we're following this afternoon, Liberian-born American journalist Helen Cooper praises Liberia's growing democracy. But on Thursday, President Joseph Boakai identified with several fire victims at the EBK military barracks in Magebe County. The fire incident, which occurred on February 1 this year, reportedly left several families at the military barracks without shelter. Pastor Tago has been reading through a dispatch from the executive mansion and now reports.